Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to talk about how to make the Tunisian bobble stitch. Here I have a swatch that I already made which has a bunch of Tunisian simple stitches and then one bobble right here. So if you need to know how to make the simple stitches or how to make the foundation row, I have separate videos for those, so you can check them out. I will add a link to them in the description below, but in this video I'm going to show you how to make this bobble stitch. So I'm going to build on this swatch that I already have. I'm going to make simple stitches and then add a bobble in between. So I'll talk about how that's done when we get to the bobble. So I'm going to start with a few simple stitches. I will, well, for the sake of this tutorial, I'll not align the bobble on top of this. I'm probably going to make it, I'm going to make it 2 stitches before. So this is where the bobble is. I'm going to make it 2 stitches before here. So the bobble stitch is can be made. So there are two things in Tunisian crochet here. One is making the actual bobble, and the second is to figure out where you want to make it. You could technically make it in anywhere in this space here, where you'd usually make your Tunisian full stitch. You could make it here where you would make your simple stitch. Again, you could make it here where you'd make your next full stitch. I like to make my bobbles in the back loop. So if you look at this stitch here, it ends over here, and this loop here is the loop I'm talking about. So this is the back loop where I usually make my bobbles. You are free to make them wherever you want them, but so the construction of the stitch will be the same. It is just where you insert your hook will be different. So in this video I'm going to talk about how to make it in the back loop. So you start with a yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. That's 1, and do this 3 more times. So yarn over, insert, so that's 1, 2, and 3. And make sure that whenever you pull through, you make the stitch a little loose. So if you see this one is not as tight, I pull a little to get them to be the same height, almost the same height as each other. Now the next step is to yarn over and pull through all the loops that were added in this particular stitch. So if I have isolated all the loops that were added while making this stitch here, so you can see that, and then I yarn over and carefully pull through. So if your stitches are loose enough, this part will be easy. And here, so I got all of them. I pulled through all the loops that were added in this stitch, and then yarn over and chain 1. That sort of locks all of them. If I don't do this, it just becomes very weird. My stitches start getting loose, and I've seen that it doesn't work out right. So make sure that you don't forget to do this 1 chain to sort of lock these in place, and then continue making your stitches as you'd want them. So I'm going to make a few more simple stitches, and I'll make 1 more bobble to show you how I did it again. So here is my next stitch. Again, you could make the bobble anywhere in the spaces in between the stitches. In the simple stitch, the vertical bar here, I like to make it in the back loop. So here is my vertical bar, it ends here, and that's my back loop. That's where I'm going to make my stitch. So yarn over, insert, pull through. So just pull it a little bit so it's nice and loose. Yarn over, insert, pull through. This is 3 and 4. So here, this is how it looks. And again, now I'm going to isolate all the loops that I added for this stitch, so all of them, yarn over and pull through all of those. So here, and then I'm going to chain 1, so I'm going to lock them all in place, and I'm going to complete my row with simple stitches. So this last stitch is made slightly differently. Again, I've spoken about it in detail in my other tutorials. If you go over my simple stitch tutorial, you should find what you're looking for. So this is the forward pass, and this is how it looks. And I'm just going to set it down. Okay, so this is how it looks. And I'm going to now make the reverse pass. It is the same as any other, where I chain 1 and then yarn over, pull through 2 loops all the way to the beginning of the row. And that's done. So this is how the bubbles look. And I'm just going to make one more row of simple stitches on top of this so you can see how to work on top of these as well. So I'm going to make simple stitches. So the ones that were simple stitches in the previous row are simple. But so for this bobble, you can see that there is this little bar on top over here. That is where I'm going to make my simple stitch. So I'm going to insert in here. And that also helps the bobble here pop a little, because it sort of pulls that vertical bar and makes these stitches go pop up. So I'm going to just do that. So again, here, this is the vertical bar. I'm going to use that to make my simple stitch, and all the way to the end, and making my reverse pass. Here. So this is how it looks. These bubbles pop nicely, and they're not popping towards the back, they're popping towards the front. And if you reverse this, it's nice and clean in the back. No loose stitches, no loose yarn. So that's about it for this tutorial. I hope to see you all in my other tutorials.